Boom.
Boom. Big year.
Big year.
It's been 1 year of this garbage.
It's crazy.
It's crazy how much trash you can put out in a year.
Flew by.
I want to say we didn't want to, but I guess we couldn't really get a guest that was worthy of our 1 year episode. And we have egos. And we said, fuck it. Let's just show people the best shit we've done in a year.
And then hopefully in a year, we look back and we've done a better job.
What you're going to watch is the best of whatever we did on this podcast in a year. All the dumb questions, all the funny questions, all the insights. Basically, the ultimate trailer for what the fuck we did in a year. And hopefully you guys enjoy it, share it, subscribe to our YouTube, our Spotify.
It's like a highlight reel of the championship. You know what I mean?
It's essentially what, it's like a Special Olympics highlight reel.
Correct.
That's it. Enjoy, guys, and we'll see you next week. What is the N-word for little people? So that I don't fuck this up.
The N-word. No. Although, so I just heard one of my fans said something on my Facebook page, and I'm absolutely going to steal this, that dwarves should call tall people biggers. And I think that's so fucking funny.
Dude, that's
so yeah, when a guy grabs my bag without me asking and puts it up in the overhead storage bin, I'll just be like, bigger, please. So that'll be great. I love that. So
does that bother you when someone writes a good joke like that, and you're like, it's first of all, you're not even a little person, right? Like that should have been mine.
Yes. How did I miss that? This is literally my wheelhouse.
Your next special has to be bigger, please.
Yes,
it's bigger, comma, please,
and the simplicity in it, right? It just kills.
There's no fat on that joke.
No, nothing. But so
what is the N-word?
So to protect you,
yes,
you don't say that one's the off limits. But that's the thing is, me personally, I don't care. I don't care because for me, it's all about intent. So one time I was doing a show in Odessa, Texas. Jealous? Of course you are. And there's a guy in the audience who eventually we had to kick out. He was heckling and eventually we kicked him out. And then the show ends. I do my meet and greet. Club is cleared out. I'm going with the other comic into our car. And then we see just lights turn on in the other side of the parking lot. And it's this pickup truck, and it starts like racing towards us. And this guy leans out the window and yells out, "Kill the dwarf!" And it's the dude. It's the dude that I kicked out. So he's coming at me. And at that point, I wasn't gonna stop and be like, "Oh, thank you for using the correct terminology."
Right.
Like it wasn't the dwarf or little person or part that offended me. It was the kill that I had the problem with.
Of course.
So thankfully we hopped into the car and
guys chased him down.
My buddy's from Texas, so he knew the trick of like you hop into the field and you do up a dust storm and then you like go out into the opposite direction. I didn't know that trick. He did. So yeah, we got away fine. But yeah, so I don't really care, but you're supposed to say little person, person of short stature. Even dwarf now is kind of like
but person of short stature is a crazy
that's so long.
It's
long,
like the George Carlin bit. You've taken all the emotion out of the word.
Yes.
Right? It's jargon.
Yes.
I do agree with you, and I'm not a little person, but I think dwarf is actually the most insulting because it makes me think of Christmas.
Yeah,
and it makes an entire group of people just a caricature.
And now
that's what dwarf bothers me.
And now dwarves aren't even dwarves anymore because we're not playing dwarves in the Snow White film.
Right.
I think you guys deserve Short King. In my opinion, I think you guys deserve Short King because if it was up to me, that's the least disrespectful one.
Yeah, I'll take Short King. I'm tired of like 5'4" guys being like, I'm short as hell, and I'm like, I would do terrible things behind a dumpster to be 5'4". So
that's a bigger please moment.
Yeah,
you're like I'm 5'4" and short. You're like bigger please.
See, thank you for saying big. You said big. And that's good. You didn't use the hard R.
I am a bigger.
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
That's so good.
This podcast is not making
it. It's so good.
And hey, I'm already saying I'm giving credit to the fan. I wish I knew their screen name, but
You don't need to credit anyone in 2023.
Absolutely going to start using that.
Lamar, why on earth would you ever spend $62,000 on Ruby Rose?
Because I have so much money that it doesn't even matter. $62,000 to me is like $60 to you.
Lamar, why on earth would you spend 62 fucking grand on Ruby Rose?
And you're not giving the pipe?
No, I'm not giving them pipe. So Ruby Rose isn't the most I've spent money on OnlyFans. There's other girls, but I don't kiss and tell. Next question. Ruby Rose is my cheapest transaction this month. It's like holding up a CVS receipt.
I mean, can I get a free Bitcoin?
Text me your wallet.
I mean, can I get one too, bro? What the fuck?
No, bro, I'm not trying to fuck you.
I'm trying to fuck you, though.
Can I just get 62 grand?
Send me your wallet.
What the fuck is happening?
Can I get one too?
No, I'm not trying to fuck you.
How much Bitcoin do you actually have? 1,000
No, higher.
to 2,000? What's 2,000? 2,000 Bitcoins that's like fucking $8 million more. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely more.
Well, yeah. 3,000, 5,000,
Higher?
10,
12,000?
12,000 Bitcoin.
12,000.
12,000 Bitcoin. That's like $1 billion. Do you have more than 1,000 Bitcoins?
Definitely more than 1,000 for sure.
1,500?
1,500? What is that? That's like
1,500.
40 million?
2,000?
That's $40 million? Okay, this is the one thing I'm really curious about because I'm a Jew and I like to know people's like values and net worths. How much Bitcoin do you actually have? Street value of it right now is what? What is it? 40 grand?
44,000.
I'm gonna start low. 1,000 Bitcoin. Right?
Yeah, higher.
That's 40 million.
1,500 Bitcoins.
Do you understand?
Definitely higher than that.
4,000?
You're spot on.
How much?
About 4,000.
4,000 Bitcoin?
Hey, my man, you're really wildin', Brody. Let me get some.
It's a lot in here.
Yeah. She found out this dude's got $200 million. She's about to earn another Bitcoin.
Oh, nah, Brody. Hold on. That's sexy red, my brother.
Who the fuck is Linda Feingold?
Bro, what is this? We're interviewing you.
Okay.
Okay. Don't ask those questions right now.
Who's Linda?
You'll find out.
Okay.
Why, you single?
hard questions.
What, Linda? I can't tell you those
Who
things.
the fuck is Linda?
You know.
All right.
She's.
All right, I'll
she's
guess.
around.
I'll start guessing.
Can we see your penis?
Do you want to see my dick?
No, I really don't.
Okay.
You don't show it, though.
I'll show you my dick right now.
Let me see.
Sure. No camera though. All right.
You really gonna see his dick?
I'll show you my dick.
There's no.
Let me warm it up.
Want me to blow on it?
All right.
No cameras.
I don't know if I like it today.
So you don't have to.
Okay, ready? There it is.
It's a good dick. It's a good dick. Why, you didn't look at his dick? I love it.
What do you think?
I could draw
honestly, I thought it would be a lot bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm also a
For
grower.
your size, though,
I'm a grower.
You're not a grower.
And I was having a bad dick day.
That's not good. You shaved a lot, though. That's good.
Yeah.
I shaved to the bone.
There's so many different variations of my soft dick. You know, like after a workout, it's in my body. When I take Adderall, it's in my body.
I saw a lot of penises in the sauna. That one's at least 85.
Let's see your dick, Val.
Oh, I never said I was going to show my dick. You
That's a big game.
Yeah,
you chose to do that.
big dick game.
You chose to do that, so I don't know. It's not. You guys over here.
I
Fucking
wasn't
around.
happy with my showcase there. I'll show you more when you get sweatier.
Yeah, take the blue pill. At the end of the episode, we'll compare.
That's funny. That was good. That was good. That was good.
You guys don't know D Lucky?
No.
I'll just put him on blast. I don't really care. D Lucky's
please.
this dude. He goes around. He always goes just like that, and he never shows his face. His whole video is him hitting a slot for a fan, winning some kind of small jackpot, and saying just like that. And then he sells you this false idea that he's an actual slot hustler. So his marketing is berserk, like it's crazy. So all these people believe it, right? It's rammed down their throats. And most people who play slots are like Midwestern, not in the social media hype, don't know what to look for. So they just believe it. He's got lines out the door of people that'll pay him. I forget the rate is like $500 an hour or something like that. And you have to bring, in addition, that's his fee. Then you have to bring your own money to gamble. And he has so many people lined out the door to do it that he films all of them and he only posts the winners and uses that, and he just pumps marketing behind those clips.
So he just catches all the naive people that are not around, that are not sharp enough.
Yeah, but there's a lot of those people.
So how does he? What's the slogan? Just like that, right?
Yeah, he's like this gay Asian dude. He goes just like that.
I got you.
And he went viral on the internet.
Super viral.
I feel like if I was like down on my luck enough, I would probably give him money.
Well, everyone's looking for the get rich quick story, right? And so people are selling the get rich quick story, and so the one easiest way is obviously through gambling.
And they said that this
slots
is the only addiction that could make you money.
Did you see Snoop Dogg is suing Walmart and another place right now because he made it like a cereal collaboration with them and they made it too expensive? It's $10 a box.
Yeah, because they got to pay royalties. They don't have to pay royalties on Raisin Bran because they own it.
Yeah.
Right?
That's the problem.
They got to cut in Snoop. Snoop wants a piece. They're like, my man, we can't sell the cereal for the same price as the shit we already own.
Homeboy's doing everything.
He crushes.
He's got to be probably top 5 most successful people in the entertainment business.
Yeah, he just stamps his name. I'm surprised he doesn't have his own like George Foreman grill.
Yeah.
Snoop is a beast, though. He really crushes it for sure. And the NFT.
Oh, they
space
just
that he got
started.
into.
They started their own drink. Him
Really?
and Dre, called Gin and Juice.
They should have done that a long time ago.
It's called Gin and Juice, and it's coming out.
Who do you think is the most successful person in the entertainment industry? It's got to be Taylor Swift. Yeah.
Taylor Swift, or
I
like
personally think Drake.
Really?
You know why? Taylor Swift is definitely probably cash flow more than Drake, but Drake had the fastest growing come up because this guy also hides a lot of his money. He doesn't.
No. We're talking about most like famous.
No, we're talking about like who's really pulling it in.
Because
I remember
Drake
at one point I was listening. I love Howard Stern. I was listening to Howard Stern. This is like 3 years ago, before COVID had hit. Ed Sheeran had made like $280 million touring in less than 6 months. It was only, you're just like,
Still Taylor Swift, guys. Taylor Swift will always beat it because the world is still racist and Drake is black.
You think that's the case?
That's the case. Taylor Swift is the most probably the most successful entertainer.
Dude,
is some
everywhere
Korean
I
pop
go,
star.
there's just like white chicks bumping Drake. Everywhere I go.
Yeah, but
I'm telling you, Drake.
Yeah, but Val, if you look at her last tour, they said she would change the economy of every city she arrived
Yes,
in.
you're right. Okay,
Do you understand?
But I'm talking about all
She
around.
brought 300 million to the NFL. Drake has never brought that attention to a game.
Maybe music-wise, yes, you're right. But all the side hustles,
she's
I think
white.
Drake.
Do you know how many business lawyers she has?
White
you
chicks
think
rule the world.
You think Taylor Swift just makes music and has like 400 million in her checking account? Or do you think all that money is tied up in 30 other billion
you're right.
investments?
All right, fine, no problem. We'll give it to Taylor Swift.
And Drake's
Drake,
Canadian, so he's working with like an there's
Drake is top 3 for sure, though.
I'm not sure, but number 1 is going to be Taylor Swift.
This guy, I won't say his name, but this guy's like a billionaire the other day, and he like made like kind of a diss on me on Instagram, and I was about to make a clap back to him, but he's so rich, this guy, and these billionaires are like this, that like they'll just ruin your life. Like
he could literally
they'll plant like a murder on me, like they'll ruin.
Why it was
he'll just pay a bunch of girls to call him
but it wasn't just
ruin
that
you
bad.
fully.
So okay, here's the backstory without like saying who it is. Basically, like we were at Monterey Car Week, which is like the most like proper at the Quail. It's like everyone's dressed up. It's like fancy old people. It's in like Northern California, like just south of San Francisco. It's like the car event of the year, basically.
Right.
And everyone's balled up. They got like their fur jackets on.
Crazy
It's
etiquette, right?
Yeah, like a bunch of white people, like old white people, crusty. So I roll up there and I'm doing my thing. I'm asking people what they do for a living in like the VIP lot. Roll up to some guy in like a drop top, like Dawn, a Rolls Royce or something like that. And like the interaction was smooth, like not bad. I was like, what do you do for a living? I ask him one question. I say, is this your car? And he goes, it's rented. And then Blake, my producer, he follows up and goes like, hey man, like, can we just ask you a few questions or just like, do you want to be filmed?
I was just like, yo, dude. So like, no, hey, like, hey, is this really your car? Like, just asking like random bullshit questions. And he's like, oh man, I don't really want to be filmed. And I was like, okay, yeah, man. Well, take care. Have a good time. So he comes back on Instagram a few days later.
Yeah, like so. No, like a couple months later, we're like, oh, sorry, man, no problem. Posts a picture of me like in my suit and goes, this guy rolled up to me, doesn't realize how close he got to getting capped. I carry like some gun in
1911.
Meanwhile, his energy never showed that he was going to cap anybody.
No billionaire carries a gun.
It's like a huge thing. He's like, better watch where you're like going. And on his main feed with like 1 million followers, the video is insane. It's literally me like, so sorry, sir, to bother you. And he's like just being like chill, but he's trying to like flex that he's a baller. So I thought about just exposing this guy because the video is like so damning for him. People would roast him, but he's so rich. These billionaires.
Right. But so
how do you know he's rich?
Oh, he's rich as he has a crazy car collection. Like he's like you can look up his net worth. He's like worth like $1.5 billion.
Oh yeah, so
at that point
he's got reach. He's got reach,
and apparently he's an idiot. Like he's like a
clearly. Can you imagine if you were a billionaire? Like why would I be harassing you? Like of all the things I could do as a billionaire.
Yeah,
but my thing you didn't even put out the video.
No, I never did. And I was like,
so
sorry.
He owned he.
So he put my face on the internet.
Maybe he was mad that you never put it out or like did a good one.
Yeah,
right? And he's like, oh.
Yeah, he's a Harvey for that. That's a Harvey move.
He has nothing better to do. So if he has nothing better to do, then he probably would fuck me in the ass, basically, legally, if he had the chance.
Do you turn down work when you think it's like coming from like a bad place? Like when you're the butt end of the joke instead of making the joke.
Recently, I have.
Right, like if they're like, "Oh, wear this like fucking stupid costume," and he's like, "No, I don't want to be the punchline."
So here's an example of where I did it. And this isn't a show, but our mutual friend Andrew Santino, a great guy, wonderful podcast with Bobby Lee called Bad Friends. They called me and they're like, "Hey, we want you to come on Bad Friends and we want you to wear an elf costume." And I was like, "Guys, I don't really want to." But then they're like, "No, we're all going to be in elf costumes." I'm like, "Oh, well, yes, okay, great. I'll come do it then." So, like, if I'm the only one doing it, if
being
like
the clown,
if everyone else gets to be themselves and I'm the guy, then I'm not really into that. But if everyone's in on the joke and if everyone's acting like an idiot, good. I'm more than happy to be that dude.
Yeah, because it's a community thing now.
Yeah, and I'm not bringing in. I don't feel like I'm being brought in as here's the fun.
As a prop, exactly. Right? You're like
laughing together rather than being laughed at. It's different.
But when I started, you say yes to all that
right.
shit.
Isn't that crazy? Like you develop dignity over time.
I mean, more like
you can't become a high-end escort without being a low-end escort. More, you know what I mean? Like
more like you develop money. More like you develop money and you're able to say no. Like no, I want to do it.
Can you give us another hack that you haven't shared, like a small little hack for our viewers?
Yeah, like I walk into a casino. Bless me with something where I could even be like, oh, sweet, okay.
Never, ever play a table with an automatic shuffler. Blackjack tables, they only do it in the lowest limits. Whatever the smallest blackjack limit is in a casino is the only table that will have this. And it's because once you get above playing that level, you become too smart of a blackjack player to know. They only take advantage of the absolute most inexperienced, unknowledgeable blackjack players, which is why it's the lowest limits and it's the automatic shufflers.
And what happens with the automatic shufflers?
So what happens is if you ever win on an automatic shuffler, it's by pure luck, which happens. But statistically, almost everyone will be a loser. So they never shuffle the cards and they never break, which means that the same exact 4 of hearts can come out 100 times in a row. And there's no way to get ahead of it. There's no way to adjust your play or your betting to it because it's an automatic shuffler constantly shuffling.
Oh, so this machine isn't like we played through the shoe and then I shuffle it. That's fine. An automatic shuffler is as we're playing, it's constantly putting it back.
Yeah.
So you think a 4 of hearts is out in this deck, but it keeps going right back into the pool.
Right, exactly right. So what it looks like is this: where the shuffle, so let's say they deal blackjack, right? Let's say there's 5 players. Boom, 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 boom. The hand's done. Dealer swipes the cards and usually puts them in like a rack or a tray. And when the shoe's over, takes them, shuffles them or whatever. Instead, when they put them in here, it feeds immediately back into a machine that's holding all the cards and just dispersing them.
You're right. That's why I always get scammed. That's why I suck at blackjack.
Well, you see, but that's why you got to go to the higher tables if you're betting. What is the higher tables when they stop using the machine?
Anything that's not the absolute lowest. Once you get to
Meaning
the second
like at
lowest,
100?
No, way lower. So like in Vegas, it's usually like a $15 table is where they have the automatic shuffler. The next after that's a $25 table. For $10 more, you can assure yourself the same exact 4 of heart will never come out twice in a shoe.
So you're basically saying that you get better percentages of luck.
Wait, high risk, high reward. Once again, I mean, not high risk, but more risk.
More risk, more reward. Yeah.
Once again, you're willing to.
Wow, that's a good one to know.
Yeah.
You see, that machine one is a good one to know.
No, we should go to Vegas and all bring $1,000 and see who comes out with more money.
I'm down. I'll definitely lose that one, but I'll do it.
I'm not even gonna gamble.
You know
I'm
what?
just gonna
You know what
blow
your
dudes
best
outside the
chances
Rhino.
are? Your best chances in that exact bet. Your
He's
best
gonna
chances.
start blowing hosts.
That's
And
what I said. Outside the
He's gonna start just blowing it because he said it only take him 6 months. So the story wraps back around.
I'll make more money. How did you get outed?
Poke the bear.
How did this all get outed?
We went to the Super Bowl together, and I took pics and put them on my IG, and that's how they saw it.
How long were you guys dated for a while?
Well, it wasn't because it was like 3-4 months in, and I said, "Don't you want to take a family member?" And he's like, "No, I want to take you." And I was like, "Great, let's go." And I'm like, "But I want to put this on social. Can I post that I'm here?" And he was like, "Yeah, for sure." And then we were taking pics together, and I was like, "Can I post this one of us?" Yeah, for sure. No problem. And like, we had conversations about my job. We'd had conversations about stuff. So he was fine with it.
Maybe he didn't realize how famous he was.
Well, I don't think he realized how deep into it I was either. I think he was like, "Oh, you make a couple OnlyFans videos, you know?" And I was like, no.
Wait, you don't think he did his research on you?
I truly don't.
Really?
That's pretty crazy. I Googled my girlfriend before.
Well, you're saying that he just blindly walked into it?
Man.
Not blind.
Someone should put him on the other side of the wings.
Yeah.
You guys should have where you ask him questions.
I would love to know.
And be like, all right, Sean, now let me ask you some questions.
Me personally, vaguely, I don't do research on anybody. I don't care. But if I'm going to date somebody for real, because I'm very like when I choose somebody, I'm like, whoa. I'm like, I got to really like look into what's going on.
Also, like, you have brand deals, bro.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you should not, if you're willing to like take me to the Super Bowl, that's on you.
Right. So I just like, that is like validating for me to be like, I'm not crazy. He knew what he signed up for. He was telling me everything was okay. So I'm like, what
is the issue? Yeah.
What happened? You know?
How many commandments did you guys break out of those 10?
Can I see? Let me read.
I
probably broke like
I kind of want to know.
75% of those.
He
Don't
broke
gamble.
9.
Don't gamble is one. Don't gamble more than you can happily spend. I've never done that.
I've broke that.
Okay.
Times.
Don't play carnival games to win. I break that all the time.
I haven't broke that.
I've never taken insurance. I always jump in mid-shoe.
I take insurance.
I always let strangers play at my table. I don't even know what a free comp is. I don't even know what to ask about a free comp. What is that? Like free rooms and shit?
No,
everything.
free comp is like
everything. Rooms, private jet, food, limousines.
They're asking for it. They'll give it to you if you know
I'm
you're
trying
having.
to win money to pay for like a meal.
They'll give you the
there's
meal
no
for
private
free.
jet comps.
You just have to ask them for the free meal.
I'm gonna be like, guys, I spent $300 at blackjack. Is the jet ready?
So you ask the pit boss, like, hey, can I get a comp slip for dinner? And they're like, where do you want to go? Because that's how they're whatever answer you're about to give is how they gauge how big of a slip to write you.
Wait. Whoa. You're telling me I can sit at a table, and they saw me lose how much money?
Any amount.
$400.
Yeah.
And I could be like, sir, I'm really hungry. I'd like to eat at Catch tonight.
Yeah.
And they can go, sure.
They can say yes or they can say no. If they say no, they're
You'd
usually
be like, I'll eat at Sbarro.
Exactly right. Exactly
I'll go
right.
to the food court. Give me
Exactly
something.
right. Exactly right. But they have the power to do whatever they want. So when they say no, you just keep asking.
Dude, when I lose, I just walk away trying to think I got him back with 6 shots of tequila.
So at least
I can be asking.
They gave me a Maybach and a Rolls Royce.
What?
They gave me a private jet
for losing.
I was a winner.
No, he's a winner.
Yeah, so there's a policy. Depending on the casino, it's either 30 or 40% of your theoretical loss, which people just refer to as Theo. You're guaranteed either 30 or 40% of Theo in comp spending. So if you're Theo, which you can ask any pit boss, say, hey, what's my Theo this trip? They'll give you a number. The number is like a calculation. It's not a direct monetary number.
You have to be in the system, though, right? You have to have.
You have to be in the system. Yeah, you have to do that. Yeah.
Okay.
So let's say they tell you, your Theo is 10 grand, right? You know, you're guaranteed at least $3,000 in spending power in comps. So you'd be like, let me get a comp slip for 3 grand, go to Catch and just ball out, spend 3 grand. If your Theo is 100 grand, you're getting 30 or 40,000.
Oh wow.
So you can
and
be
you
like,
always ask for more.
Can you be like, I want Catch, I want this nightclub, and I want those concert tickets?
Yeah.
Or
exactly.
is it just wow?
Exactly.
That's amazing.
You say, hey, I want side stage access
It's
to
like Amex,
this.
but for fucking.
I thought
Yeah.
that was just some bum in a suit who brought over like,
bro, look.
okay, that's the right bet. Like that's all I've seen that guy do.
Damn, bro. So now
I'm in the wrong.
So
no,
now you know.
They're
So I'm
not
gonna
doing
show
this
you.
at the. They're
I
not
have-
doing this at the $100 blackjack table, are they?
They're doing it everywhere.
What?
All right, so I don't want my player number on camera. This is every single black card and invite only card in the entire city of Vegas. All of these have more power than my actual Amex, which I also have. Like I have all these like limitless Amexes. All of these are more valuable than this.
Yeah.
I'm gonna murder your assistant and just take over.
That's amazing. That's fire.
When you go into a real casino, anybody, even if it's your first time gambling, when you sign up for a player's card, they usually start you by giving you a 2-person free buffet. So if you lose $100,
I don't know. I never knew any of this, and I have players' cards. I assumed shit's just like emailed to you. I didn't know you had to be vigilant.
Yeah, well, they don't want to proactively give you this information. Like, hey, like we have a policy that we will give you back money or give you spending power and blah, blah, blah. They don't want to tell you that because they take advantage of the 99% of the people who have no idea this is a thing.
Have you seen this or has it happened to you? But like, let's just say you're a regular. You're a regular and you have like a really bad streak one weekend.
Mm-hmm.
And you're at the casino and you just look at them and you're like, guys, like this is going to really fuck up my life. How do I get most of this back? Like my wife's going to leave me. My kids are going to like have to like go to like live on the street. Like has there ever been like a moment where like they see a sob story? They're like, okay, maybe we should give this guy the money back because he'll hopefully come back again. Like what's the biggest version of Theo you've seen in kindness where they're like, all right, give him the $1 million back?
In kindness?
Well,
nothing
so not
ever.
kindness, but like if obviously there's a business strategy, right? Obviously they're like, if we give him blah, 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 blah. But like what's the most you've seen them? Have they ever been like, all right, just give them everything back?
This is the closest I would say I've witnessed. For the casino side, it is pure evil business.
Right.
They have no love in their heart at all. They do not care. Their plan is, how do we get the most amount of people in this room so they lose all their money and their wives leave them? That's their pure goal.
Okay.
The closest thing to like kindness of someone's heart that I've seen is a host will take their player outside of the casino and say, let me just help you get through this. Give them some cash. Don't forget, the host makes money when the player loses. Extra money. They get bonuses.
Really? Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Tell me that.
Oh, yeah.
That's how the host gets paid?
The host gets a salary. Then they also have quota. Yeah, so the host gets a salary. The salary is based on quotas. Quotas is a combination of their entire players, all their Theo combined. And in addition, when they exceed that all the quotas for their salary, they also get bonuses. So if you have one player come in, lose $5 or $10 million, you think that host who's making $100K that year is not getting a piece of the action?
So your host is rooting against you.
Yeah, they're all rooting against you.
But when you win, what happens to the host?
Then they just earn typical Theo against their quota salary.
Do you think, oh man, so a host really wants a happy loser?
Yes.
Constantly.
Like a guy who's like, I have unlimited income. I don't give a fuck.
Yes.
This is all for fun.
That's why
I'm entertaining whores.
That's why the host will wait on you hand and foot for your beckoning call 24 hours a day. They'll do whatever.
Because they want you to they want you to literally be love drunk in a casino and just
the host
draining.
is making money every time you lose. They make extra money. And there's not a single person who will ever tell me otherwise. I can't tell you how many hosts I've been so close with that they've came to, bro, I had hosts come to my baby shower. I've helped, bro. I'm on such a level with certain hosts in my past that I've gotten every single piece of information. They absolutely make extra money when the player loses, and if the player wins or whatever, it's still earning Theo. And the Theo, because again, Theo is a calculation. It's not if you lose $100,000, they will not give you $30,000 in spending power. If your theoretical loss is $100,000, they will give you $30,000 in spending power. In order to earn $100K in Theo, $100,000 loss, maybe $10K in Theo. So if you lose $100,000, you're getting back in that example,
so on
$3K.
So $3K.
Yeah. To have $100,000 Theo, bro, you're placing enormous size bets for many hours. It's very, very, only the biggest bettors have $100K Theo that are getting $30K back.
And how much of it is a computer program spitting it out, or how much leeway does like the higher up pit bosses or whoever's in charge get to go like, this dude, I need to grease him a little more. Like, I know this guy.
What a good question. So check this out. So Theo is a calculation based on average size bet and length of play. Every game already has structured what a length of play looks like. For example, if you sit at a baccarat table for 1 hour, but you only make one bet, You did not play for 1 hour. They have a calculation that says if you play an entire shoe of Baccarat without missing a single hand, no matter how long or fast it took you to get through that shoe, that's 1 hour of play. If you power played through that shoe and it took you 20 minutes, you still get 1 hour in the calculation. If you took your sweet time and took you 10 hours, you still only get 1 hour.
It's based on production, basically.
Yeah. So what a pit boss can do is they can either hurt you by claiming you have a lower average bet. So he'll glance over once every 30 minutes and say, oh, he only bet $100, even though you're betting 1,000 every hand, right? Or you could be betting 100 and the pit boss can just type in betting $1,000 a hand.
And he doesn't get clipped for that lying?
Nah, it's so like...
So there is gray area in a casino where they leave it to people to determine how to keep someone in that seat.
Yeah, the pit boss can raise or lower. And also you can sweeten up. I've done it when I was a smaller bettor back in the day when I was like a black chip
What's
bettor.
a smaller bettor?
I'd bet black chips between $100 and $1,000 a hand. Like 1,000 would be
That's a big bettor in my eyes.
For most people.
Like $1,000 is like what I'll normally go to a casino with before I get annoyed at myself and I was like, I could have bought some stuff. But like I said, that's not my world.
Yeah.
So like $1,000 would be my entire night's bet pool.
But let's say I buy in for $1,000.
Right.
This is what I used to do. I'd buy in for 1,000 and I'd bet $100. That's my unit, right? It would be 1/10 my buy-in.
Right.
And let's say I win a few hands and now I'm up 500. I will bet 500. Let's say I win. I now have 1,000. I will just say, let's press it, bet 1,000, right?
Right.
So I started by buying in 1,000, betting 100 a hand. I won a few hands. I'm up 1,000 and just bet the whole thing essentially.
Right.
So I made one hand for $1,000.
So you're just trying to be like, can I accelerate this? If not, I'm back to where I started and let's rebuild.
Exactly. Now the pit boss can say, I'm going to claim that you're a $100 bettor because you started with 100. It's going to hurt you a little bit in your Theo and your spending power, but I'm going to claim you're a $100 bettor. Or he could be like, I saw you bet 1,000 a couple times. I like you. You're nice to me. I'm going to claim you've been betting 1,000 average.
Should I be tipping a pit boss?
They can't take tips. I think every casino is different. They can't take tips in cash or chips, but they can take gifts. So when I first started learning about this, I was living in Biloxi. I lived in the Beau Rivage and the Golden Nugget. What I would do is I knew they couldn't do that. So I'd go to all the gas stations and buy all the gift cards. And I would give them a gift of a Visa gift card or, gas station card, whatever it is. I'd preload it with money.
Does that help?
I mean, inevitably, I would say yes, because they would help me raise my Theo, right? So if I ever started losing, that Theo would help me cover more costs. They furnished one of my apartments. They gave me like 10 flat screen TVs, gave me couches, gave me jewelry. They got me
do they ask, or do you go, I want couches, and they go, which ones? Or they're like, we're sending you 10 couches, and you're like, thanks.
It's all of the above. What they used to do that I thought was the most enjoyable, they would have these shows. Like, for example, they'd have like a furniture show or they'd have a jewelry show. Those are like two of my favorites. And they would say, hey, we're going to fly you in and give you $5,000 to spend in credit. Buy anything you would like at these shows.
Got it.
But once you're there, they've already flown me halfway across the country.
They know you're going to just blow that money with them. That's so smart. I never thought about it this way, but this is how Disney protects themselves. In order to not allow a law firm to take on opposing clients, Disney hires like 40 of the best law firms in America, gives them all projects to work on, meaning when another company wants to sue Disney and they're trying to hit a top law firm, the law firm's like, conflict of interest. We already work for Disney.
Wow.
So
and they
Disney
only have
just
to give
sends
them a
out
small little
bullshit projects to every law firm to be like, good luck suing us. All the best guys are ours now.
Wow.
They said that Disney's basically a law firm.
I didn't know this.
Park. Yeah,
That's
like
insane.
they're just very. I mean, they just fucking
money.
Yeah.
Yo, I didn't know this. That's
It's
actually
genius. That's-
genius.
that's grimy.
We're talking about checkmate, baby. That's checkmate.
Like even like high net worth individuals, if they before they get married, they'll go retain a bunch of divorce attorneys, the biggest guys in LA, pay them a couple bucks to review prenups, whatever. So then, in the off chance you do get divorced, your ex can't go to the big firms.
Yo,
chess.
Talking about she wasn't shooting with me in the gym.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, you don't learn that in the sauna, Val. You learn that here.
Actually, you do learn that in the sauna.
No, you can't.
I heard some Diddy stories from Vince in the sauna.
Yeah, I don't want to touch that topic. That's all you.
I know. But
I wish Diddy touched me. Would you ever live in another country?
Fuck no.
Really?
Fuck no.
America's still number
Man,
one?
I ain't going no motherfucking world. Man, I'm gonna live and die in this motherfucking country. I was born in the USA. And the only way I'm going back to Africa if Chick-fil-A going. Yeah, if Chick-fil-A, man, fuck me. If Chick-fil-A ain't going back to Africa, I ain't going no motherfucking wild. Hell is you talking about? No, man, I'm an American kid. Man, where else I'm gonna go? And who go give me these rights? Who go give me these type of motherfucking rights that I'm getting over here in America and what other country?
Putin is definitely not going to give you that.
No way.
Fuck is you
Australia?
talking about? Man, who go treat a nigga like we get treated over here in America? Who go teach me? Who go teach me how to read? Who go give me a free public education to try to make me smart in their country? No motherfucking body but America. So what I'm gonna leave this for? If I go to jail, I can complain to a motherfucker. Mama, they mistreat me in here. If I go to jail somewhere else, I can't call my mama. My mama can't call the warden. My mama can do that in America. Man, I can kill somebody and get to come home and rap about it. What other motherfucking country you can do that at?
That is very true.
Man, I ain't going no motherfucking world. Nigga, I'm gonna join the military before I go any motherfucking world. Send me to war.
It's hard. I mean, it's hard to fight that. You're right.
Man, before I leave this country, I'm joining the military and go fight for this country. That's how much I believe in this motherfucker. I joined the military at 46 years old. Nah, I'm a proud motherfucking American. with the history laced with this motherfucking all that. Yeah, I fly the Confederate flag where I'm from because I understand the real history behind it. It was some niggas fought on that Confederate army. So nah, man, I'm a real motherfucking American, man. Shit, yeah, I go to war with Africa, China, whoever with this country.
I like that. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm too much of a bitch. I wouldn't fight.
Shit, man. I like these rights.
can't
I
fight.
want to keep these rights.
Nah, I like it. You're about it, though.
Stick to podcasting. Making shitty clothing.
You were in a frat in Albany?
No, I'm not cut out to be a frat guy.
Why? Because you couldn't take the hazing, right?
Not that I mean, I don't think I could have taken the
give me
hazing.
frat vibes.
That's
because you
do give me frat
you have
vibes.
a Belushi kind of vibe.
I think I ooze off frat vibes,
Belushi
which
vibes.
that's even better.
Right.
But I don't like the idea of it, if that makes sense.
Why? What do you? What bothers you?
I love hanging out with my best buds. I've had the same best friends for 15 years. I love them. Love hanging out with the fellows. Love drinking. I love all that. The vibe I get from frats, honestly, is it's a lot of kids that were
like Herbs back in the day that want to be cool.
Yeah,
I just say,
and that's their like power trip is being a frat,
and it's super gay.
Yeah,
I mean, I'll say it.
I always go back to this one story about a frat. So we're all from like the area in Nassau County. One of my best friends went to St. John's. He joined a frat at St. John's, and this kid that I went to high school with went to that frat, joined the frat. And then I always remember we went to Belmont for like a Belmont day or something. And then we went back to my best friend's house on Long Island. So we didn't go back to the frat house. We went back to the house on Long Island, like the one that we hang out at. So we all go back there. We're drinking, hanging out. And we were just watching a game or something. I asked one of the pledges to grab me a beer. Kid brings me a beer. And then one of the guys in the frat says, you got to flick the can 100 times. And I was like, dude, do not flick that can 100 times. Just give me the beer. So then me and this kid were like almost like got into a fight, but like he was like, dude, it's about respect.
Well,
like,
because the pledge has to listen to him.
Yeah,
because they have to abuse him.
dude, like you're not in the frat house right now. You're in the house that I grew up in. Like this kid's not flicking the thing 100 times. There's no, what are we doing? And that's just the mentality. I hate that mentality.
And you just annoy the daylights out of you, right?
Yeah, it annoys the shit out of me.
What's the clearest path if you want to make $1 million?
So be employee number 2 or employee number 3 for someone who's crazy. So you making $1 million is actually going to take a lot longer because you're going to reinvest everything into the business. But if I come work for you and I'm like, hey, give me 5% of gross sales, right? I'll be your national sales manager. I have way more likely, I'm going to make more money than you first. You're going to make more money later if you sell the company. But if I go start selling Assholes Live Forever at every retail store, every department store, and I drive around and see 20 locations a day selling your clothing that I already know works, and you're the crazy guy that has to run the company, pay the bills, pay the overhead, pay the manufacturing, pay the shipping, pay for warehousing, you pay for everything, and I just make 5% of gross sales, I'm going to make $1 million and you're not. One day you will, but I'm going to make the cash first.
That's a fact.
Jesus Christ.
By the way.
I just got so sad.
But he's right though. He's right though. That's the truth. That's why they say sales is probably the best way to make money. Even people like, those guys that walk around in Miami, they're like, oh, what do you do for a living? How did you make so much money? Why do you have a Lamborghini? And the guy would be like, well, I do insurance sales or I do this sales because there's no cap. It's just unlimited.
You're selling for someone else that already is the thing.
Right.
The insurance company, if I'm going to sell for Geico, I don't have to have any overhead Geico does. My job is to go tell you guys to go buy Geico and you believe it.
And then you just collect the commission.
You can
have
just
no
work out of a
overhead.
car.
Dude, it's like my girlfriend's band. My girlfriend has a wedding band, and I'm like, you have the greatest job ever. You have no overhead. You guys don't work until you're paid. Right? You don't have a building. You don't have uniforms. You don't have like payroll. Like everyone only works when the phone rings.
But imagine I was her agent and all I did all day long for 8 hours a day was call 100 different wedding venues, wedding planners, wedding. And I was pitching her and I get 20% as her manager and agent.
And you have to do even less.
I do nothing but call. I could be in my freaking boxers texting and calling and call 100 times a day, get her 4 bookings a day at $5,000 a piece. And I'm making $1,000 a head, $5,000 a day. I make $1 million in 6 months.
But you see, that's why middlemen always make the most money.
Well, let me ask this question because you bring up a very interesting point, and I think a lot of people who, obviously, you probably could thank Shark Tank, but a giant entrepreneur culture, right? And mostly you to blame as well. Yeah. I think the hardest thing people have is the ability to sell themselves or to sell this great idea, right? So I think like you just told me how someone can make $1 million off of me, right? And it sounds terrifying to someone like me because I don't like that part of sales where you're like, yo, just call 100 people and I know you're going to get rejected a bunch of times, but that's how it works, right? Is it a glamorous job? Like what is sales essentially?
Sales is being completely agnostic and like you don't care when someone says no. You have to not care about it at all because it's going to happen, just math. But if I did this with my energy drink. Literally every day, I told every single person, if you make 20 calls a day or go to 20 locations, 20 liquor stores, 20 grocery stores, and you get 4 appointments and you close 1, you will make $150,000 a year for me. But what if you close 2 a day or 3 a day? And as we build the brand, you start to close 4, 5, and 6 because it's easier to sell. And everyone just started to work for me because 20 calls a day or 20 appointments a day, 4 actually become real appointments, 1 becomes a sale. And by breaking that down, they know they're going to hear no, or maybe, or later, or the bar manager's not here, the restaurant manager's not here, the liquor store guy's not here, whatever. They did it every day. We got into 55,000 stores in 4 years.
Bro, that's nuts.
It's a lot.
My sales team was guys like us.
How old were you?
I was 23 to 27.
And that was when you were the youngest CEO of a publicly traded company.
Yeah.
That's fucking nuts.
And that's all we did, by the way. Remember, all I had was MySpace back then. There was no Instagram.
Correct.
You're at an appointment with a John.
I just finished having sex and I checked my phone and it said the Weeknd had liked my message.
I would have literally came.
We literally both looked at each other and I said, the Weeknd just liked my message. And he said, you're shitting me. And I said, no, look. And I didn't reply until I got home because I was like shaking with nervousness and excitement.
Wait. What did he say back to you?
He just liked the message.
Oh, so you were like, okay, you just got the heart on Are You Single Yet?
Yes.
And you were so excited.
Yeah, so I went back home and I literally said to him, I was in the middle of a appointment when you liked my message. And I can't remember exactly what I said, but he said, LOL. And then he said, what's your number? I texted him my number.
And this is right when he released After Hours too.
I think so.
Dude, this is so smart because like most other girls would be like, I like Molly would be like, I like The Weeknd. I just send him a heart. Like you're so smart to just lay out the terms by being like, I just got done fucking for money. This is nuts. And he just gets to go, oh, hookers don't tweet except they do podcasts. But like usually the concept of having sex with someone, he knows what he's getting.
Yeah.
And a girl that knows how to fuck.
Yeah.
Instead of like talking to these, you know how many girls DM The Weeknd that are like trying to suck his that have like probably the worst blowjob of his life.
Right.
Like if I'm gonna fuck
I swear to God, I gave him.
Okay, so continue. All right, so this is so exciting.
Yeah.
Like I get excited when like Mario Lopez leaves a comment on my page. You got The Weeknd sliding in your DMs asking for your number. Oh my God.
So now you're nervous.
I'm nervous as fuck. He texts me. He said, hey, with a devil face and said, were you actually Mormon?
How does he know that?
Because at the time, I went by the username The Naked Mormon.
Got it.
So that kind of got him going too, probably, because he knows that there's taboo there.
This guy's not too bright. Like, was she Jewish? Why would she lie? It's a naked Mormon.
Yeah, but people,
he's just making. He's trying to make small talk. I get it.
Right.
A guy named The Weeknd.
I told him obviously yes. And then he FaceTime audio called me. This was at like 12 at night, mind you.
FaceTime audio.
Yes.
Wow.
You know why, right?
Why? Because he had surgery.
No, because
it's AI.
The federals cannot pick up on the call.
Oh, I thought you meant that. Why wouldn't he do FaceTime video?
No, because he's not. He's maybe shy. He's a shy guy.
Or maybe he knows a girl probably won't answer.
I definitely wouldn't have answered if he
Okay.
FaceTimed me. But I answered, and I had not saved his number, so when he called, I was like, "Who is this?" And he was like, "You can't tell by my voice."
What does his voice sound like?
No, it's kind of like deeper than that, you'd think, by his music, but it's kind of deep.
Did you poop your pants the minute he's like,
Yeah.
you don't recognize him?
Yeah,
That's got to be humbling for him.
My heart started pounding. I literally got wet in my pants, and I was like, "Oh,
Damn, imagine
sorry."
having
Yes.
that power. You're the Weeknd, and some girl that you're calling to fuck goes, "Who is this?" And he's like, "The Weeknd."
Literally, he's like, "What are you doing tonight?" And I was like, "Nothing." He's like, "You want to come over?" I was like, "Sure." So then he texted me his address.
Where was he staying, at a house or a hotel?
He had this
An Airbnb
house thing. It looked like a hotel. Like valet came and got me, and they said go to the top floor. I went to the top floor, and it opened to this huge ass, just his place. The elevator opened into a penthouse.
Sick.
And there was just windows everywhere. It was like the entire top floor. There were tons of statues everywhere, like from movies and
This
stuff.
was in LA?
Uh-huh.
Wow. He calls for you to come over.
Then he sends the
What do you
address.
sent the address? What are you putting on? What are you packing?
Well,
how are you
first
getting
off,
there?
Let's stop there. My boyfriend at the time was right next to me when he called me.
Oh my God.
Wow.
And
He was kind of jaw drops, you know? He was like, "Is she gonna actually do this?" And I was like, "I'm going. Like, if you don't let me do this, I will fucking hate you forever."
right, because like, what are the chances you're ever gonna thread that needle again?
Exactly. And I would literally regret dating you if you never.
Right, because you look
this.
at that guy and in a split second you're like, yeah, I'm not marrying you. Like, I'd rather do the Weeknd, right? Like, you look at it, you're like, this could all end. I'm never not gonna, like, I'll regret this forever.
You only get one fucking life.
I get it.
I was like, I'm
I would
going
have been
over
so
there.
jealous. I would have been sad and jealous. I would have been like, I wish I got that DM.